Preethi, your parenting coach and family therapist. And with me here is Roopa Kiran, the founder and director of Absorbent Mind Montessori School and a Montessori trainer. Welcome, Roopa, and thank you so much to all the audience who've joined us here today. So, today we're going to be continuing our conversation from the previous session where we were talking about Montessori as a way of life. How do we bring the Montessori principles into our everyday life, and how can that really turn around the family dynamic, the home environment to be more peaceful, more harmonious, and more collaborative rather than coercive? So that is the conversation that we've had. And one of the primary things, a beautiful sequence that we spoke about last time, was about how, as parents in the environment, if we are able to facilitate freedom of movement, freedom of choice, automatically there is a sense that the child feels respected and honored, and with that automatically taking responsibility comes in, right? So when we talk about, there is personal freedom as well as responsibility to contribute to the needs of the clan, of the community, of the family. That is what is harmony, right? So that automatically comes in with that mindset shift of going from how can I make the child do this to how can I help the child do this, is where we are working with the environment rather than with the child directly. So these are the things that we've spoken about in the previous session. And one particular thing that Rupa brought up in the last session was about following your child. Can we just spend a day where we are able to take things at the child's own pace, do things the way the child wants to do it? Of course, we're there to guide them, we're there to support them, but can we do things at their pace instead of rushing them the way we would like the day to be? And what would that look like? That is what we spoke about in the last session. And I think it would be useful and perhaps even valuable for us to dive deep into what does this following your child mean in the context of everyday life. Because Rupa, you did say last time, you've got the weekend, so why don't you give this a shot, follow your child? But is that possible to follow your child in everyday life? What does that really mean? Is it only about pace at which the child wants to do things? Are there other aspects, other ways in which we can look at this? We would love to hear from you.
Namaste, namaste everyone. Hope you guys followed your child last time, uh, whatever we mentioned while discussing. Now, here it's freedom of movement, freedom of choice, and freedom of speech done. But what happens is, with it's everything, there's a line drawn to it, it's with limitation, because we cannot just let the things happen. It is not possible that way. So here it means tuning into who your child really is, because you parents are the best to know who the child is, who your child is, and their strengths, their weaknesses, interests, needs, uh, pace, and personality. Everything, the parent is the best to tell, because here in school also we tell all the parents, you are the best, you are the best judge for your child. But that doesn't mean that we need to guide them in a way that honors those, instead of pushing them into a mold we have in our heads. All adults, after becoming an adult, we realize, oh, we should have done that, we should have done this, because now the facilities are such, earlier so many things were not there. So if I was a 9-year-old, what I would have done at this point,
Mm.
that is what. So you have so many thoughts coming in, and you try to mold your child into it, whatever you want it to be, or what you think. Many parents have seen, they want to mold their child that way. No, it's not the thing. Now the child is today's child. He cannot be like, a 90s or whatever date you were born in. He cannot be that. He's present child, because he's born with a different intellectual, as a different intellectual and intelligence, because they are born with all the technology and system which many of us did not have during our time.
Yeah, yeah.
So It is not about letting them whatever they do. It is observing without rushing to intervene. So this
Mm,
intervening is one thing I would like to underline. Don't intervene. Don't intervene, because many a times it happens such. Uh, when you are there all the time intervening, asking the child not to do this, not to. So how will the child become independent? The child
mm,
cannot be independent if we are doing this all the time. So then at last you'll tell, I want my child to be independent. He comes back to me all the time and he's asking me this, he's asking me that. But you're feeling happy inside that your child is coming back and asking you. But that's not the right way to guide the child. All the time child is coming and asking you. No, no, let the child take decision. Let the child, whether it is right or wrong. Later on, we can sit and speak about that. Let the
mm,
child decide what to do first.
mm, mm,
That is how you're allowing the child to take decision and cross the line where the child develops confidence in him.
mm,
All the time, if the child is child, when does the child, when do they come or asking for you? When they're not confident. So you should allow the child to make errors.
mhm,
We can correct it because it's not a blunder. The child, he's a child. We have a lot of time to do things. So slowly be partners with him. Be partners with him. And come on, let us do it together. So that is the kind. So it will help in your development also as an adult, as a parent. Parents also, like, if the child is 4 year old, you are also 4 year old or a 5 year old. You are not a 50 year old. No, your age might be 40, 50 or whatever, 30, 40, 28, 25. It can be that. But as a parent, you are a 4 year old, you are a 6 year old, you are a 7 year old. So you should understand that as much as the child is learning, growing, you are also growing with your child.
mm,
You're not like you're Superman and you know everything. No, you are learning. You learn to change the diaper. Did you go and change somebody else? No, it is not possible. Diapers and all. You are learning then how to do a change a diaper. Only you have a child with you.
mm.
So, in the similar manner, how are you learning? You're learning one at a time, where your parents are supporting. I do understand. They keep telling, do this way. How did you learn? Now there is YouTube and other things are there. Earlier, nothing was there. We learned on our own. We saw parents doing for their children, other parents, our older sisters or our uncles, aunts, doing it for other children. So seeing is learning. That's how the child also learns. So in your environment at home, how safe and how productive is your environment at home? Always it need not be productive also. In case if I say, how conducive is your environment at home? That is what
Conducive to?
matters. Conducive in the sense,
No, no,
it
conducive
has to
to?
be conducive to learning for the child, to help him
Got it,
grow,
got
to
it,
become
got
an
it.
adult. Yeah, to help him grow. How conducive? It cannot be like always harsh environment. Now there are facilities and you people have all kinds of help. So
Mm,
it is easier, much more easier now. So it would be very difficult in earlier, but now it is very very easy, and you should see how you will accommodate. You both are working, you have help from parents are helping, or they come and go. And I've seen many elderly people, they are coming and going. They come in the morning to take care of their grandchildren and going back in the evening, and all this is happening. So you have helping hand, and you have nannies now. The trained people are coming, and all this is there. Okay, observing without rushing to intervene. This is what it is. You should not
got
intervene.
that. So,
Yeah.
so right now, when we are talking about what does it mean to nurture your child, nurture independence in your child, and
Yes.
following your child was one of the things that came up.
Yes.
And what's really interesting in what you're saying, Rupa, is that following your child is one way of developing independence, which means when you're following your child, it is not that you're helicoptering the child,
No.
but that you're observing your child from a distance
Yes. Not intervening.
without intervening, without stepping
Yes.
in at every step to say, no, 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 not like that. Let me show
Not.
you how to do
Yes.
it.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
don't do
Yes.
it like this. Arey yaar, this is not how it is to be done. Don't you know how this is to be done? No, Chinna, this is. So, no correcting. There is more guidance rather than instruction and correction. And what
Yes.
does guidance look like? Guidance comes from a space of wanting to honor the child's individuality
Yes.
instead of pushing them into a
Space.
mold. What does that mean here? My understanding of what you said, correct me if I'm wrong, is honoring the child's individuality. Yes, we live in a world where we want to teach our children to survive in this world. We have our own ways of surviving in this world, and somewhere as parents we automatically think the way I interact with the world is
Is
the way
yeah,
the child should
no.
also interact. That is
No.
not how it needs to be. If you think
Yes.
about yourself, is there a different way that you deal with challenges in your life, and your wife or your husband, the way they deal with it? Is there a difference? Is there a difference in the way you and your siblings deal with the same situation? How about your
Yes.
parents? How about your in
Absolutely.
laws? The
Yes.
same way, your child will have their own individuality as well. We need to create the space for that.
Yes.
That is
And
what
sup
honoring the child would mean.
Yes,
Yes.
then supporting their natural growth. It has to be natural and organic. I've been telling from day one, it has to be
Mm,
organic. Give them
yes.
tools, give them time and space, and explore what
Mhm.
they're curious about. That's how you
Mm,
learn. Only you observe. Even in the classroom, that is what
absolutely.
we do. First, in a Montessori training, this is what we teach: observation, observing
Mhm.
the child, not intervening, observing the child. Many times parents will tell us, you're not correcting, you're not correcting, but
Mm,
we are observing. There is a time when things will happen and the child will overcome it or do it after 2 3, or 2 3 ways or 2 3 times sitting with the child and
absolutely.
working on it. So
Absolutely.
that's all.
In
So
fact, when you
similar
were
things should happen in the
in
home.
fact, when you were talking about this, one of the things that came up for me is that for I integrated parenting, the tagline is raising ourselves as we raise our children, right?
Yes.
So when we are talking about raising children, and
Yes.
especially your statement where you said you are not a 38-year-old parent, you are an 8-year-old parent
Yeah.
because your child is 8 years old.
Yes.
You became a parent. You were born into the role of a parent the day you had your
Yes.
child. So if you have a
Yeah.
3-month-old baby, you are a three
Yeah.
month old
Three
parent.
month old.
You have a
That's it.
3-year-old child,
That's it.
you are a 3-year-old parent. You have a
Yes.
24-year-old child, you are a 24-year-old parent.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So which
Yes. Yes.
means you have never ever in your life been a 3-month-old parent ever. You're
But
learning
it's
how to
fine.
be a parent of a 3-month-old in that moment, just
Yes.
like the 3-month-old is learning how to be in this world. As a
Exactly.
baby,
Exactly.
as an individual, you're learning how to be a parent to an individual as your child is growing every step of the way. And in if you come into therapy, psychoanalysis, and gestalt, you come into the psychology side of things. A
Yes.
beautiful mirror that we see is at every stage of your child's development, that part of you in that stage of development, whatever gaps were there, it is an
We get
opportunity for you
to
to fill that
fulfill
gap
through,
by taking care of this child. I know
yeah,
it sounds
through a mini
very,
me. Yeah.
yes, yes, I know it sounds a bit
That mini
confusing.
me.
To give you
Yeah.
an example, I'm sure many parents will relate to this. How many of you are really excited about your child's toys more than your child itself?
Many a times parents buy toys because they like it.
They like it. I
Yes.
can totally relate to that. Like the number of books I buy for my son, the number of
Because we
toys that I
love
have
reading.
bought for my son is for me. Oh my God, this is so exciting. Oh my God, this is so
Oh, there's
amazing.
something
I
new in the
really want
market.
this. Yes.
And you tell so
That
much I
is
buy.
coming from
Yes,
our gap.
yes,
When
exactly.
you were a 2-year old, what was
Yes,
missing? If you were flooded with toys as a 2-year old, you probably will not have that level of enthusiasm with your child's toys. But if there was a lack at that time, it is likely that you will try to fulfill it now by buying those toys that you never had for your child. Um,
yeah.
right? So, so every stage as a parent is an opportunity for us to fill the gap for ourselves, our
Yes,
inner child. That is
yes, our,
such a beautiful way of understanding our role as a parent,
yes,
right? So, which
exactly,
means we
exactly.
all have our own inner personality that
Yes.
is always alive,
Yes. Yes.
always evolving.
Yes.
Can we create the space for the child's inner personality to bloom, to
Yes.
blossom, instead of
Exactly.
trying to fit them into you should become what I
Mm.
couldn't be? Very similar to I couldn't do engineering, so you should become an engineer. I wanted to be doctor, I couldn't do it, so you should become a doctor. We cannot impose our dreams and our undigested pasts and dreams onto our children
Yes.
because they are their own individual. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for that. I think with this you have also spoken about why is it that following our child is very difficult, right? So you're not able to follow your child and let them be themselves because the part of you that is needing that experience is pushing for your child to replicate that.
It's
And
so sometimes
how?
sitting in. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how can we do that? How can we follow the child? Is to curb that instinct, to intervene and correct, and to just observe. To
Patience is
just
the mantra.
observe, right? That is, I think that observing to guide rather than observing to correct.
Yes. Exactly. That's
That
the right
is
word.
the
Yes.
key
Like
to creating
right
a
way to say.
conducive environment to learn.
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes.
I think that pretty much sums up all that you said. Is there anything you would like to add to our discussion so far, Rupa?
Meeting, see here again, with all this, the emotional needs, recognizing that a meltdown might be a signal of tiredness, hunger, or overwhelming, rather than bad behavior. So everything cannot be bad behavior. The child is having a meltdown, that means there is something not okay. Like, the child might be hungry, or the child is disturbed because you have taken the child somewhere where the child is not liking it, probably. So, in the similar manner, as an adult, if you don't like somewhere, you don't go. But child has
Hmm.
no choice. You lift, you take. The
Hmm.
child
Hmm.
cannot say anything at all. You just lift and you take. So
Hmm.
these are the things you need to observe and be
Hmm.
mindful about. Need not get frustrated. I do know as adults we tend to be more judgmental. Suddenly we tell, oh, this is it. That's why this is happening. I know you are doing this, that's why she has become like this. You are doing this, that's why he has become like this. No, it is not
Hmm.
about that. It's not
Hmm.
about that. It's all about the coordination as parents, both of you coming together so that the child has no gap in growth and
Hmm.
in emotional growth also.
So what
So,
you're saying is that this discussion is not to pinpoint or judge or blame anyone,
yes,
but to
yes,
understand the patterns in ourselves and how that is
exactly.
manifesting in our children.
Because you are also growing, you are also learning
True,
day by day.
true,
You
true,
are
true,
not a
true.
master to know everything. So you're
Mm,
figuring out every day, like how the child is figuring out how to touch this and what kind of material is this, what is the name of this. In the similar fashion, parents are also growing
mm,
along with the child. So following the
mm,
child becomes even much more easier if you come
mm,
in line with that. Or else what happens is you're having some thought, you're all by yourself and doing this, doing this, doing this. Don't
mm,
do too much. Take the child into confidence. Help the child also. Let the child also carry something along with you. You, you, the child cannot, and he cannot, she cannot. No, don't say that. Let the children play, even in sand or even in. Don't put a red carpet all the time. I know you. You can be you. You have a big business. You have lot. Everybody has money now.
mm,
That's not the thing. Now, how will the child walk on
mm.
the? He can't walk always on a red carpet. He needs to start walking barefoot first.
This actually reminds me of a statement you made in the last session about unknown and unnoticed children in the classroom, right?
Unnoticed child in the class,
Yes, I
yeah.
remember you said, if you
Yes,
look at these unnoticed, unknown children in the classroom, are basically the children who are the quiet types. Usually
quite.
the most known children in the classroom are the noisy ones, right? The children who jump and say, me, ma'am, me, ma'am, me, ma'am. That those are
So
the children
always,
who.
always teachers and students, they remember them. Always they
Correct.
remember their
As
names and
against the unknown and unnoticed child. And I remember you made the statement that said it is those children that will be somewhere else in terms of success later on in life.
what, yeah,
Is
what
there a
happens is
correlation?
yes, the
Hmm.
parent need not feel bad, my child is not. This child is very observant. Now, one
Hmm.
incident, some incident is happening in one place. This child is sitting and watching. Now, this one child is saying something, the other child is saying something, but this child who is sitting, he knows the whole scenario, where this one is coming from and where the other one is coming from.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, so he knows the solution also, because after all the fight or after all the discussions or after all the understanding talks or whatever, there are different ways. It need not be fight all the time. It need not be argument all the time. It can be a nice way of talking and discussing about the story. What if I was a author? If I was an author, what statement I would have made or something. So he would be thinking, oh, they both are thinking on those terms. I would have thought something else. From
Hmm.
here only, this child is thinking. So he becomes more thoughtful and
Hmm.
more understanding child.
Hmm.
Though they cannot come and address themselves with us, or they cannot come and talk too much or whatever it is there, but when they grow at one point, they can become good orators actually, because they know the consequences, they know the situations, they know because they have observed so much. Don't, as I told, pre-primary, when they come 3 months, 4 months, we just leave the child. Now this child, it's already now June, July, now it is August, third month. This child is settled now. Today I was so surprised. The child is going around and giving high five to two girls. Then I was
Hmm.
like, oh, what happened? Then they told we are friends with her. Then this child is all fine going around. See, it took 2, 3 months. Now, by now, the child has observed so much. So the child, in 2, 3 days or a week, the child will finish the work faster, because the child has been observing,
Hmm.
sitting and observing. Today she's moving around. I am so happy.
Hmm. So
Yeah,
what I'm
that's what it
learning from this is that inaction in a child is actually not inaction. There may not be a physical movement or action, but there is always observation and learning that's
learning.
being
Yes,
taught.
learning happening. Learning will be happening in a
So
classroom.
silent children, yes, it's actually very common. Even I've had a lot of parents who say, "Oh, my child is very shy, very there is no confidence only, doesn't speak up," all of these things. And what you're saying is, don't label those children as below
No,
average or
no,
inactive,
no, 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 no,
lazy,
no.
or
Never.
any of
No, no,
that.
never.
They are just very observant, and it is
Yes,
likely that they are learning more by observing than actually
yes.
participating.
They're passive learners. Passive
Mm.
learners. How did we learn cooking? Nobody,
Mm.
we didn't go to a cooking class. Nobody, I don't think so. Very few nowadays, a lot of things have come. How did you learn, Preeti? How did I learn? All of us today, even my daughter, how are they? Because they're observing. We are observing. Our parents do, our elders do, and wherever we are going, trying to help them and do things and all that. That's how we have learned. It's not that we have gone to a proper cooking class and take 1 ml, 1 spoon of this, 1 spoon. It doesn't happen like that. Cooking doesn't happen like that. It's all about passion and learning and all that. In the similar fashion, even the house environment should support the child to be happy from inside within. So the
Mm.
confident child is always a happy child. So
A
the child needs to be
confident child is
confident.
always a happy child.
Yes, that's what it
Beautiful.
is.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
For those of you who have this question, how can I make my child confident? Focus on having happy moments with your child. Simply build that connection, allowing the child to explore their curiosities at their own pace in things
Mm,
that they want to explore, in the way they want to explore, is probably the best way to build connection. Right?
exactly.
In fact, there
Yeah.
is a study that says that a child hears about 60 no words per hour or something like that.
Because there are too many adults in the house.
Yeah, yeah. So on average, children, especially toddlers, they hear 60 times. They hear the
Oh,
word no in an hour.
oh, that gets registered in their mind.
Yes.
Oh,
The truth is, the more there are no, 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 no that keeps coming up,
It's very sad,
there is
yeah.
an innate tendency for all of us, not just for children. This is not a learned behavior. This is coming evolutionarily. It is there
Yes,
generations across the world, across demographics.
yes.
When the only thing that we keep hearing is a no, that no has no value. Hey, whatever I say, whatever I want, they'll keep saying no, let me see and do it anyway. With that, what happens? The friction in the relationship also keeps going up because
Yeah, I
there's
know.
no.
Yeah, especially during teenagers, and
Yes,
that is
becomes
when it
more
starts.
difficult.
That what
Absolutely.
happens is, I have given everything to my child. Now he is behaving like this. So they come back at that time. We would have
Mm,
suggested them, don't do this. Parents, we would have suggested them, let them free, let them think for themselves. Until we are in a situation, how will I know this is going to happen? So
correct.
the child needs to be in the situations in the social circle. The child cannot speak an adult language all the time.
Absolutely.
Anybody can make out if the
Mm.
child is
So this was
suddenly
allowed.
telling the adults something. The child tells, oh, my 8-year old is speaking like this, so where did he get it from?
Correct.
So every time the child behaves like an adult, the
Mm.
child behave like an adult, the child is like all the time. So where is that coming from?
Mm.
So that we need to be very careful about, conscious about in the house. So where is
Mm.
it coming from? What
Like
is happening?
intervening.
So don't intervene. Let the child solve, whether it is bad, good, whatever. Let the child solve. Only thing is, we need to hold ourselves back and wait. Oh my God, I want to jump in. Oh my God, I want to jump
So
in.
hard. That's so hard. I know. I know. I can definitely vouch for that from experience. It's definitely not easy. One last
Exactly.
thing that I would like to add to this is that we do say keep your nose and not nose like the word no, the number of no's to less than 30% of your conversation. Most of our 70% or more of our interaction with our children should not be about instructions, should not be negative
Exactly.
statements. Don't do this,
Exactly.
don't do that, be like this, be like that, as against having a free flowing conversation.
Yes,
That
rather than being
itself
directors.
is a
Yes.
healing aspect of
Yes.
a relationship.
Exactly. Rather than being directors, we become
Mm,
like directors. We can be
correct.
partners. Okay, let me see what has happened. Instead of saying, oh, let me see what has happened. Let us check out together. These things,
Mm,
you can use these words. Let us check out
mm,
together. Let us see what's happening. I also don't know. Let me just figure. I know, we know what is, but still you can say that, oh, let me also figure it out. This is something new. Let
mm,
me look into it along with you. Both of us will sit and work around this. Let us see what's happening. So like
mm.
this, instead of saying no, just pitch in there as a partner, and this reduces the daily battles, and the child becomes more confident on parents. They'll have
Mm.
more oh, my parents are like, they're so this is how the confidence builds in. Outside,
Mm.
how much ever things are happening, it's not that. Things have to come from home.
This is
You cannot be
another
rigid.
example of helping the children how to think rather than what to think. So
Yes,
your child is
exactly.
coming to you with a problem, with a particular challenge. Instead of saying, "Okay, do this, do that. Okay, come here, let me solve it." Instead,
No.
come back with a question. Okay, that's interesting. I get that this is a challenging thing. Come, let's figure it out. How do you
Yes,
think
let's
we
figure
can
it
do this? What is the problem over here? Or if we do this, wouldn't you think it will affect them like this? Okay, if we do this, don't you think it will happen like this? What else do you think we can do? So, doing that and arriving at a solution together.
Well, what happens is with the adults is we become more judgmental. As soon as the child says something, we tell, oh, this is it. Then whatever perspective you have, wherever you have come from, you are talking from that view. But the child has
Mm,
come from elsewhere. The child's
mm,
perspective is different. The child's social circle is different. The child is going to a school today's school he is going to. There the scenarios are different, but you have come from
true.
a different scenario. So these things, we need to be more,
I think
as
this
adults, we have to upgrade ourselves rather than pulling
absolutely.
the child.
That line I think specifically applies to the parents who say, "हमारे ज़माने में पता है हमने क्या किया."
That and all is gone, like, that doesn't work. No, it's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. We definitely need to
all the
look at
time
our
I,
children's challenges from today's
yes,
perspective rather than how we came from. Thank you so much, Rupa. I think
Thank
some
Yeah.
really valuable pointers have come up today. One, in the context of following our children. Our children are
Yes.
not empty vessels, they are their own person. We have to honor
Yes.
them for their individuality instead of trying to create Xerox copies of
No, no, not
ourselves
required. Mini.
or
Let
our
only the looks
imagined
come from the parent. Yeah, only the looks. Let the child is
ideal
intelligent.
perspectives. Yes, absolutely. Right. And we are not talking about letting the child do whatever you want. With freedom does come boundaries. We want to support the child, guide the child.
Exactly.
That comes in the form of boundaries,
Yes.
not by force, but by guidance, not by correction, but by mentoring, not by instructing, but by supporting. So that is what we mean by creating a
Giving
conducive.
response. Yes, supporting. I would like to add supporting with
Yes,
giving responsibilities to the children.
absolutely.
At
So
home, a
this helps the
small
child
to their level. Yes, yes.
to take responsibility for themselves in age appropriate ways.
Yes,
That
age
age, what they
appropriate.
can do, they can definitely take on
They
for
can definitely,
themselves,
absolutely.
right?
Yes.
Beautiful. So we have spoken about why it is difficult for parents to do this, why it is difficult, what is the most difficult thing for parents to bring into the family that really takes away family peace is
I'm
not
telling.
being able to zip and observe.
Patience is the mantra. That's how.
Absolutely,
Do
absolutely.
as
Thank
I
you so
say
much.
to let's work together.
Yes. So definitely
Yes.
observation and collaboration rather than instructing, intervening, and
Yes.
instructing. Right? So
Intervening. Intervening. First, we should stop intervening. I
these are
know.
the biggest learnings for us from today's conversation. As always, Rupa, this was a really beautiful exploration of this particular ideology. I think it can definitely make a lot of sense in all our relationships. We have, in-laws and parents interference, and between husband and wife as well. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing? All of these things can very much apply to all our relationships, including our relationship with ourselves. Instead of criticizing ourselves, that inner critic, can we observe what we are doing and why we are doing, and then support ourselves to make those changes? So this is the conversation that literally has opened up what it means when we say that Montessori is a way of life. It is a philosophy for being, for life. And that is what we have explored. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful conversation. And I'm sure there is so much more that we can dive into in the context of bringing Montessori into our daily lives. And we will come back to you on another day, another topic. Until then, goodbye. Goodbye. Thank you. Have a good week.
Namaste. Thank you, Preeti. Namaste.
Bye bye.